Welcome to the Songwriter Connection podcast, where we look at the craft of songwriting through the eyes of the songwriter. Each week, we make a connection with a music maker, listen to their songs, and hear their stories. From Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, Dave Lenahan.
Thanks to Bev Mosher, we have some special guests today that I'm going to introduce you to. Thank you for the download, by the way. And if you're listening on YouTube, yada, yada, like, subscribe, that whole thing. Anywhere else you're listening, just spread the word for us. We're one of the fastest growing songwriter podcasts in the world right now. We have you to thank for that. So I've got a quiz. I'm thinking of the longest running band in history, still making music, still touring all over the world. Who do you think it is? Could it be Rolling
Stones.
Somebody's.
No. Beach Boys.
No. Beach Boys. The Who. There's a couple of Skynyrd?
No.
No.
It's got to be Exile.
I bet it is.
Yeah.
They started in Richmond, Kentucky in 1963. And they were the Exiles, but they dropped the S and then dropped a whole bunch of number ones. So I got a little medley for you. This one they made a video, and it was like one of the first ones ever played on the CMT channel when they were playing videos.
Yeah.
I don't need a shooting star to make my wish come true. She's a miracle.
You remember these, right?
Sight to
I think so.
Oh, the way she touches me. I could get used to you. Oh, darling, you're so fine. Girl, I'm crazy for your love.
Wow. Something else.
It's good.
Out of my head for you.
I could go on and on. There's like 10 country number ones. And then going back to 1978, this was like one of the biggest songs in the world, right? Want to Kiss You All Over? All of these I played on the radio back in the day. All of them. So I know you know this song.
Gonna light your fire. I wanna kiss you all over.
Does it ever get old, guys? It never does.
Never.
It never does. Yeah. So let me introduce you to our guests. We have Sonny LeMaire here. He plays bass, great songwriter. And we've got Marlon Hargis, who's the piano player, keyboards of the band Exile. Thanks, guys, for being here. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Our pleasure.
Sonny, you and I, believe it or not, we met years ago, and I'll tell you where.
Yeah.
I was writing with Sharp Objects back then, Stephen Sharp, and you came in, put a little workshop, played some songs for us. Yeah.
Where did this take place?
This was downtown back before they put all the high rises across from WLEC. He had a nice little house there right on Music Road.
Oh, man, Stephen. He was so cool. Love Stephen Sharp.
I love that guy. Yeah.
Dear man, yes.
He did so much to help me. He was so great.
He was.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we have Marlon Hargis. Marlon, how are you today? You know what? It's so funny. He's got this shirt on that says Ohio State Penitentiary in Mansfield, Ohio. That's where they filmed the movie
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah. My mother and father lived like 15 miles north of there in a little town called Ashland. So I visited that place. It's a cool place.
It's very cool. It's very eerie to the actual prison where they filmed the movie. You can take a tour of it.
It is
having to be going through there. And
it is a cool tour.
Yeah, we're not going to spend too much time there, though.
No. Could you imagine having to be living there?
No.
You see the cells and everything. You go, how did they do it? How did they do it?
Have you ever spent time in jail?
Never.
You want to give
No.
Yeah. Well, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I'm revealing it today.
Are you?
Oh, it's the first.
Is it the first?
Do you know what I was jailed for in Knoxville, Tennessee?
In Knoxville, Tennessee?
Yeah, in 73.
73.
Hitchhiking. Swear to God.
Can't hitchhike?
On the interstate.
I
was hitchhiking home back to Lexington, Kentucky. And my drummer pal at the time, a good friend of mine named Mickey Folger, who's from Fort Thomas, Kentucky. We talked about
Cincinnati area, where I came from. Yeah,
we got we got arrested.
Didn't get pulled over.
No, we couldn't get pulled over. We were running on the interstate, and I literally got put in a pokey.
No way.
For hitchhiking.
No way.
And I'll tell you this: you see all these movies about that cell door slamming. When you're on the inside and it slams shut, oh man. But we got out the next day.
I can't imagine.
And promised we wouldn't do it again, then hitchhiked to the bus station. And,
Police wouldn't take you to the bus station even. Come on.
No.
What's
It's
up
the
with
truth.
that? What's up with that?
Oh my gosh.
So don't hitchhike, kids.
Yeah.
Do not.
Well, that's probably not on the books anymore, but it was then.
Yeah, you never know.
No.
Plus, you had long hair, and you were, it was a serious thing.
Yeah.
Back
Plus,
He's one of those hippie freaks, right?
yeah.
kind of, and maybe
Heap trouble, boy.
and maybe my pal was holding something in his suitcase too. I don't know. I don't know.
Rumor had it. Anyway, guys, 60 years. Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
Like a blink of an eye?
Yeah. Well, kind of, and yes and no.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, it's hard to comprehend that.
Oh man,
60 years.
Yeah.
And you played "Kiss You All Over" 45 years ago.
45-year anniversary of that.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes you think, what the hell happened?
Yeah. And if you're doing the math, it's and they said no math when I did it. It's 1978 that was a hit.
Yes, it was.
And it's it's weird. We call this the Songwriter Connection, and we had a songwriter on just a couple weeks ago, and I had read somewhere that between the rock and the country era that you went down to South Africa, played a lot of shows to sharpen the chops.
Yeah.
Well, we had a lady on from South Africa who at the same time in 1978 had one of the big worldwide hits called Substitute.
Okay.
Cindy Alter from The Clout. And if you just go back a couple weeks in our podcast, you can listen. She got a fantastic story.
Yeah,
so,
really.
Two 1978 big hits on the podcast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love that.
Yeah. South Africa trip. That was very
I bet it was. Yeah.
It's a beautiful country. Absolutely lovely country.
It was an amazing experience, honestly.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
I've never been, but I have a good friend who's coming into town this weekend.
Yeah.
He's going to stay with us a few days, and he listens to the podcast all the time down there.
I got a quick story for
Go
you.
ahead.
Well, "Kiss You All Over" had been a big hit all around the world.
Mm-hmm.
And we were booked to go to South Africa. We hadn't been told that we'd had a huge amount of hits there.
Yeah.
And just in that country. And so we fly there. It's like, Sonny, 20 hours.
it was at least 17 hours.
Yeah, I mean, we were just totally worn out, perhaps slightly hungover, maybe. So anyway, we get to Johannesburg Airport. Now, back then, you landed on the tarmac, and you came down steps, and so we are... I wouldn't say staggering off the plane. We were walking off the plane, and we noticed there's 3,000 or 5,000 people standing, in the terminal.
Like the Beatles coming to America.
Like you've seen the Beatles, that kind of agree.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
And we were literally looking around, going, "Who's on this? Who's on the plane
We
with
didn't
us?"
know.
We had no.
Oh my goodness.
So to make a long story somewhat shorter, they were there to see us, but we had no clue that we were that popular. And then we tried to pull ourselves together, and there were all these press people coming to interview us. But that was one of those bizarre experiences.
Truly.
Wow.
Yeah, but we had.
Well,
a great
there was
time.
that guy Rodriguez, right? They made that movie Finding Sugarman. Did you ever see?
No.
They found him. They found he was an old guy living in Detroit, and he didn't know that he was huge. In South Africa, Rodriguez.
Yes, I have seen part of that.
My friend Sean says
Oh my
he
gosh.
plays all around South Africa. He says I started a Rodriguez song, and everybody goes nuts. Still to this day.
I forgot about that.
Sing
We'll
along.
have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a good movie. It really is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have a new album out.
Yes, we do.
Million Miles Later.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling it's been a lot more than a million.
Well, it has. It has much more, but it's easier to sing a million miles. It's more.
Yeah. You could go a billion.
Or 1,573,684 miles later.
It's a longer title.
Yeah.
Should we play something like the title? Not the title. Let's play the single. You got a current single
Let's
out right now.
play the single. Yeah, let's do
You
it.
want to talk about it a little bit, Sonny?
Well, it actually
co-writer on it, right?
No,
No?
not on this
Not
particular
on this one.
tune. It was
Oh.
written by my long writing partner in the band, J.P. Pennington.
J.P. Pennington.
And our other singer, Les Taylor. And our good friend Larry Cordell. Who,
Larry Cordell.
Larry,
Music on Murder on Music Row.
Music
Oh, yeah.
on Murder.
Great songwriter. Great
Highway
bluegrass.
40 Blues.
Highway 40 Blues.
I mean, Larry is a great songwriter. Well, this song was written probably 25 years ago.
No kidding.
Absolutely. And, just as we were almost finishing up this project, JP said, well, I've got this song. He said, maybe we ought to check it out. And I said, well, play it. and he played it for us. And we went, we need to cut that, and we did. And of course, it's the first single.
Wow,
and doing pretty good.
But this is the first time you recorded it after.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's give it a listen. Rough Around the Edges. It's Exile on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Thanks for joining us. Might be a little rough around the edges, but I'm just exactly what you need. That's a rocker, you guys.
Yeah, it is.
That's you singing it, right? So is that you singing that song?
No, it's
no.
That's
is that
Les.
Is it Les? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. My goodness. Yeah. Now, a lot of you guys live in Lexington, right? Still, does JP and Les? And
they do. Yeah.
Okay.
JP and Les still live in Lexington. Mm-hmm. Marlon and I and Steve, our drummer,
live here,
and most of our crew live here in the Nashville area.
So we're based out of Nashville.
Okay. Still okay. Yeah. You start the tour here.
Yeah.
We get on the bus here.
Get on the bus here. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we do.
Does that get old? 60 years on the bus, man.
Yes.
Well,
come on.
Let me tell you this. There were so many years of driving in cars and vans and everything else, Winnebagos that broke down constantly.
Oh, God.
That it is tiring. It can get tiring, and it's always challenging. But I am grateful that we are on a bus. I got to tell you.
Oh yeah.
You know, because for many years we drove around in all kind of vehicles.
Didn't have that luxury.
No, everything from an old hearse
Yeah.
Oh God.
to a Corvair van.
Oh, was there a Corvair van?
Oh yes, seriously.
I don't recall that.
You know, our younger people may not realize back in the 60s and early 70s, if you had a hearse, that was the that was the tip-top way to carry gear around. I mean, that was it.
It's kind of nutty, but it's the truth.
Yeah, you had made it if you had a hearse. Now at our age, we're not too fond of hearses.
No, I'm not riding in a hearse
Not right now.
Hey, get into that hearse now.
Down the line, please. Way on down the line.
Yeah.
Too much to accomplish it.
Yeah.
You know what I always loved about you guys? You play your own instruments in like when you were making the transition into country, which, by the way, wasn't. We'll talk about that a little bit. It's not as big a jump as you think.
No.
But like Buddy Killen was producing, and it was very rare to have him say, "Okay, you guys play your own instruments," because I was bringing Nashville session guys who can knock it out, but not you guys.
No.
In fact, did I read was Ricky Skaggs was like the only one that wasn't in the band that played?
On our debut album, Skaggs played part of a solo on "I Don't Want to Be a Memory." Was it or
No.
No. He played on a. Well, I have to
Take Me to the River.
Go back and revisit. But Skaggs played on it. Lee Greenwood played sax.
Played saxophone.
He was a saxophone.
He played sax on the tune.
As far as we
think
know,
that's it.
we were the first band to actually play on our records.
Yeah. I think the percussionist, the great percussionist Terry McMillan,
He played on
he did play percussion thing.
on a couple of things, but I mean, as far as the bulk of the music, we always played it.
One of the things that our manager at the time, Jim Morey, who was based in, we were all still based in L.A. when Jim was there, was when he approached Buddy Killen about would he consider producing Exile. And Buddy said, "Yeah, I'd love to." And he said, one of the things about them, though, is they're going to play their own instruments. I mean, that's the deal. That is the deal.
Wow.
And Buddy said, "Fine."
Wow.
And if he'd have said no, well, he wouldn't have been producing us.
Yeah.
What was he like to work with Buddy?
Buddy,
wonderful.
Oh, he was great.
Legend.
We had gone from working with Mike Chapman in the studio. Now, Mike Chapman was a genius.
And he was. And he wrote Kiss You All Over.
He
Right?
and his songwriting partner, Nicky Chin, they wrote Kiss You All Over, as well as tons of hits, that they had in Europe and everything.
Worldwide, yeah.
But Mike was just a genius songwriter, but he was brilliant as a producer. I mean, honest to God. And he was very hands-on. He knew exactly what he wanted. And Buddy was just the opposite. Buddy was a feel, he was more of a feel guy. He would just sit back and let us play, and he would comment if it went this way or that way. He thought, maybe you should try this, maybe that. But he let us, do our own thing, and would just comment occasionally about, interject what he thought maybe it needed or didn't need.
Wow.
Yeah, and another thing about Buddy came from an R&B background in Memphis, and we basically, in my mind, we're kind of an R&B band, really.
Yeah, and you too, weren't you? You really grew up in the Motown and that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's one reason we and Buddy got along so well is we kind of had that background, and he knew that R&B sound that we had, basically.
That you wanted, yeah. Pretty cool. Very neat. We always talk about people. I always hated the when people say, "Hey, what kind of music do you play?" Right?
Yeah.
And I always tell folks, be your own genre, man. Create your own thing, and that's exactly what you guys did. And I remember I read somewhere along the line, somebody said, "What kind of music?" You said, "We're a garage band. We play garage band music."
Good way to put it.
We just started in a garage, right?
That's kind of where it all started.
Yeah.
And rehearsed for many, many years in a garage. Even through Kiss You All Over and everything.
Wow.
Still did.
Something else.
But people do, through the years, have asked, how do you describe your sound? And honestly, it would have to be, we're a combination of R&B and pop and gospel and country and stuff. It's all these influences.
All meld together.
It really does.
With a great sound.
That's why I may be getting ahead of where you want to go, but that's, I think, one reason they transitioned from pop to country.
That's where I was going to go next, actually.
Well, good. That's
exactly right.
We didn't, because we were kind of our own genre, we didn't really change our sound that much at all. It was just more some production stuff.
And I followed you over to country. And I remember playing Kiss You All Over. I was doing adult contemporary style music, and just up by Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I remember your songs, and there were more songs than just Kiss You All
Oh,
Over.
sure. Yeah. Several
And then-
albums worth. Yeah.
Yeah, and in 1980, I went country, and I hear Alabama doing "Closer You Get."
Yeah.
And what was the other one?
Take Me Down.
Take Me Down. Take Me Down. And I'm going, that's Exile. And Sonny, you wrote those songs, right? And that's what I love. Not only songwriters, and musicians, all great vocals, but great songwriters as well.
Well, JP and our dear, former member Mark Gray wrote both of those. Take Me Down and The Closer You Get. And,
Mark wrote those. Okay,
and
we lost him a few years ago, didn't we?
They were both recorded on a 1980 pop album called "Don't Leave Me This Way." Was the title of that album.
Yeah.
Recorded in L.A. And both songs, I believe, were released as singles to pop radio because we were still a pop band.
Right.
And did nothing. I mean, they did nothing really.
Wow.
And we were kind of heartbroken because we knew they were just. We felt they were hit songs. You know, we just didn't know they'd be hit songs for Alabama at the time.
Yeah.
But it also made the transition easier.
Yeah, it helped.
It gave us credibility.
Yeah. But there were like 5 number 1 songs Exile wrote for other people.
Yeah, we have written, actually 6 number 1s, actually. We only do 5 in a medley. Restless Heart.
When She Cries. Now, you wrote that one, right?
Which Sonny wrote.
Yeah.
I love that
Beautiful
song.
Mess by Diamond Rio, which I co-wrote.
One of my favorites.
Take Me Down and The Closer You Get, of course, recorded by Alabama.
Janie Freaky.
It Ain't Easy Being Easy. And the one we don't include was recorded by the Forrester Sisters, called Just in Case.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that song?
I don't know why we don't do it.
You want to do it?
Well, no.
You'd
have to find it and play it because it's been way too long.
We haven't played it in decades.
That's me. I love to put you on the spot. No, you don't have to. But you had that with the first album.
Yeah,
country.
It was it was on the first country album, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
What? One of those?
No, Just in Case.
No.
Obviously it's been a while.
I'm going to play.
We're going to fight. I think it's heck.
It was on one.
Is it on the Kentucky Hearts album, which would be maybe the second country album?
Our wonderful publicist,
Bev Moser is checking.
Looking at all the answers. Love her.
She is Googling right now.
Yeah. And what she doesn't know, she'll make up. So.
Oh, man.
Well, let's get back to the album because I want to play the title cut from that. Oh, no, we're going to do a live one.
Oh, we are?
Let's do a live one. You want to do a live one?
Sure, we can do that.
That sunshine one? Sunny?
Oh, you want me to do that one?
Yeah, you want to do that one? Well, here we are in the fall. I need more sunshine. Got back from Destin not too long ago. Can't get enough sunshine.
Well... Okay, now you're putting me on the spot here. This is a song off the new project I did.
We can do it.
It's called Nothing But Sunshine Now.
Which you wrote that a few years ago, didn't you? With your...
Oh yeah, it was written by with my good friends Clay Mills and Mark Selby, who passed about 5-6 years ago now. Mark was an incredible songwriter, guitarist, really soulful. Loved him dearly. Oh, so the three of us wrote this thing.
Wow.
And several years ago.
Another song that we dragged out from years ago and said, man, let's do it. It's a great song.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do this without messing this up. Bumper fell off of my old Ford, so I bolted on a 2x4. Found just enough cash in my sock drawer for just enough gas to get me to the shore. And it's alright, I'm out here rolling on the high tide. Ain't got a worry to worry about. Can't see nothing but sunshine now. And it's a sweet life. Might just stay here till the moonlight. Things got a way of working out. Can't see nothing but sunshine now. I got an ex, thanks to my ex-best friend. last 3 months nearly did me in. Now I'm out on the water with my back to the wind. And if I never go back again, well, it's alright. I'm out here rolling on the high tide. Ain't got a worry to worry about. Can't see nothing but sunshine now. And it's a sweet life. Might just stay here till the moonlight. Things got a way of working out. Can't see nothing but sunshine now. And it's a crazy world, crazy life. Call me crazy, but I'm thinking everything will be alright. I'm out here rolling one day at a time. Ain't got a worry to worry about. Can't see nothing but sunshine now. And it's a sweet life. Might just stay here till the moonlight. Things got a way of working out. Can't see nothing but sunshine now. Can't see nothing but sunshine now.
Nice. I feel so much better. Bev did, don't you? And Bev did the research. That was on the Kentucky Arts album. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
3 singles on that all went to #1. That was your first #1 country album, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Just awesome stuff.
Yeah.
We're talking with Exile, and we're going to take a little break. We'll come back. Don't go away.
You're listening to the
I should have
Songwriter
played-
Connection, connecting with music makers and hearing their songs and stories. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Thank you so much for listening and spreading the word about Songwriter Connection. We've got 2 members of the band Exile, been together, they're celebrating 60 years together. What's the over and under on marriages today? I mean, that's longer than most marriages.
Well, that's longer than all of our marriages put together. You can,
If we total them all up.
Yeah, right. So folks will go, how does a band stay together for 60? No Yoko Onos or anything like that. How does it happen?
It's hard. You know, actually, Sonny and I, we've worked together much longer than that.
Have you really?
We've
When did you meet?
Probably,
golly.
I forget how many years.
Well,
High school?
almost.
yeah, almost. You know,
Wow.
it's one of those things where chemistry in a band is such a fragile, kind of crazy, weird kind of thing. You know, when it works, don't mess with it.
Right.
You know, because it takes a lot. You know, when you got 5 guys, you know, from different backgrounds, well, kind of different backgrounds. I mean, a lot of similar things, but, you know, and you got all the musical tastes have to kind of combine. And, you know, through the years, of course, like any long-term relationship, you know, we've had our serious ups and downs, you know, and we've had our challenges and fights and breakups, you know, for a little while. We did. Had to get away from one another so we wouldn't kill one another, and got back together. And, you know, it's just, when it works, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And boy, what a beautiful thing you got.
Yeah, it works. You know, I mean, I've always said individually, I think we're all good musicians, but collectively, it kind of raises up to something else. You know, when we're on stage and things are clicking, it is something that's
you're better together, right?
We are, and you know, maybe that's the secret. We all realize that.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you feel on stage? Do you can you read each other's minds?
Kind of.
yeah,
You know where you're going.
almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean to sound conceited when I say this, but there are times, you know, when we're at sound check, you know, and we'll fire it up and we'll start playing, and I'll think, you know, my God, this is really pretty good. I mean, really, you know, collectively, what we have created and what we sound like, it's pretty good, you know. Right. And I mean, you know, there are much better musicians than me in particular. I'll tell you that, you know, and we're not I mean, we play in the studio, and we played on other people's records and products and everything else. But the way the five of us play together, that was one of the things why we insisted on playing on our own records, because we grew up at a time, with the Beatles or the Stones or the Kinks or the Who, all playing on their product. And not only their vocals made them unique, but the way they played made them unique.
Right.
So that's what we have accomplished too. Besides our vocals and songwriting, literally the way we all play together is very unique to us. It doesn't sound like anybody else.
Doesn't.
So, and that's a good thing.
Exile, and that's kind of going back to what I talked about, but your own genre.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what you've done. That's what you've accomplished.
Yeah, whatever it is, it's us. And another little secret, I think we listen to each other on stage. We pay attention to what the other person's doing, and if one of us is having a bad night, you can depend on the other guys to kind of to pick it up. Yeah. And that happens every now and again.
Yeah, it's a team.
Well, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's so cool about it is I don't have to worry about, is Marlon going to do his thing, play his parts right, or Steve, or is JP, all I got to worry about is me playing my parts correctly.
Yeah,
because I know everybody else is gonna do
Sonny,
it right.
You play bass in the band,
yeah,
but I know you're also your guitar player. I noticed I was reading through something the other day, and it said bass and dadgad guitar, and I had a laugh.
Yeah,
but it's a tuning on a guitar.
It's just a tuning.
DAD.
Yeah, and on the new record, A Million Miles Later, on the one we just played, Nothing But Sunshine Now, and another song called Valentine Sky, that I played acoustic on, and I'm just tuned in dadgad. It just gives it a different tuning, makes you kind of write differently.
It does, doesn't it?
It's like playing piano. Writing on piano versus a guitar, you kind of write differently, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, it's a cool sound. It really is.
Yeah,
and there's some good progressions and things that you just can't get anywhere else.
Oh, very true.
I write with a guy named Greg Wilson a lot, and that's his favorite tuning to write in.
Yeah,
and so I just thought that was interesting, and I wanted to mention that.
Yeah,
you're in standard tuning.
I'm in standard tuning
right
now. You know.
Yeah. Well, before we play, because I want to play a song. I want to play the title cut from the album. So let's talk about the album a little bit.
Sure.
And how that all came together.
Yeah.
This is the first one in a couple of years, huh? Since the Christmas one.
Oh well, yeah. We actually did a Christmas project. It was released last year.
Was it last year?
Yeah, I think we actually
called Joyful Noise.
We worked on it a couple of years ago.
Which we wrote all that. But as far as a full-on, thing other than a Christmas project, this is the first full-on in decades.
What did we say? How many?
Really?
Bev, how many years? 30?
Like almost 30 years.
30 years?
No kidding.
Released.
Amazing.
And we started, thinking about this as we were actually writing and preparing for the Christmas project, that Joyful Noise CD or album. And we thought, 60 years is coming up. Will be coming up. We need to think about, are we going to record a whole new project? And fortunately, we signed with Clearwater Records, out, Clearwater, Florida, out of that. That's where it's named. Yeah. And the head of that, Robert Gomes, and his wife Tamara, they gave us the opportunity, kind of carte blanche, guys. Just record, just go and do it and make it the best you can, and we'll promote it. We'll get it out there. So we started writing literally on Zoom. This is right.
This is after COVID, right when COVID. But we were down for a year.
Yeah.
We didn't tour for a year.
Yeah. So from 2021 on, we wrote through 2022, and would get on Zoom and write these things, and then we would record piecemeal. We would do 3 songs at a time. As we would write, we'd go in the studio, record the songs.
Some in Kentucky, right?
Well,
some here, or no?
The process was JP, of course, living in Lexington. He would go into a studio in Lexington and lay down what we call a click track. It's just the timing of the track.
Right.
Put his guitars on that track, and then myself and Les would join in, would get there, and we'd do all the vocals on the track. So we'd have his guitar,
vocal,
and vocals, lead vocals and back vocals.
Wow.
Then we come to here, Nashville, at a studio in Gallatin, And Marlon and I and Steve would go in and record the bed of the music. We'd record the music. I think that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's the way we do it.
Yeah.
And it seemed to go really smooth that way. I mean, historically in the past, we were always in the studio at the same time recording everything.
Right.
But this just made sense to do it that way. It was more efficient.
Wow.
I'm really thrilled with the way it turned out.
You're pleased with the sound.
I am.
And I am too. Here's the title cut. Let's play that. A Million Miles Later. This is Exile here on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Great song. Great album. We'll talk about it on the other side.
Just a dream, but here we are, as crazy as it seems. We're better off, a little worse for wear, but somehow we made it on a wing and a prayer. The turning of the wheels, the hum of the road. You're always with me everywhere I go. Don't know why you did, but you stayed with me. I seem lost on some dead-end street. Now 1,000,000 miles later, 10,000 nights with you. We've climbed a lot of mountains and even moved a few. Made mistakes and memories wherever we've been. Now 1,000,000 miles later, I do it all. Even through it all, I do it all again. Somewhere in between the white lines. 1,000,000 miles later, 10,000 nights with you. We've climbed a lot of mountains and even moved a few. Made mistakes and memories wherever we've been. Now 1,000,000 miles later, I do it all. Even through it all, I do it all again. Now 1,000,000 miles later, 10,000 nights with you. We've climbed a lot of mountains and even moved a few. Made mistakes and memories wherever we've been. Now 1,000,000 miles later, I do it all. Even through it all, I do it all. I do it all over again. Do it all over again. Started out as just a dream. Here we are, again and again and again. Turning the wheels, hum of the road. Always with me. I do it all over again. Where do we go? Go from here. Find
Good.
our way, even if it's not clear.
And a slow fade. Love that. Disc jockeys always loved the slow fade. They hated the cold, hard stops.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So that was a three-way co-write right there.
Yeah.
You and JP.
And Sharon Vaughn.
Sharon Vaughn.
Yeah.
Was that one of those Zoom ones or?
Oh yeah, it was
Same
one
room.
It was one of the early songs that we wrote for the project. You know, came up with the idea, and it seemed to kind of write itself. You know, and it is our love letter to our fans. Literally, I mean that's
Really?
what it, you know. It could be about any long-term relationship.
Sure.
but I mean, it's
I get
about
it now.
It's to our fans, that have stuck with us all the years.
We were talking about a song or a title for the album, and then they brought us this song, and we were going, wait, that's it, right? That's it, right there.
Seemed like
no argument, done.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
great song, really well done. Thank you, guys.
It was a real labor of love to do this whole project. And
I bet it was. And the CD's out there, streaming everywhere. It was released in August, was it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I want to thank you for taking the time. And you were between shows. And this week, when we're taping August 16th for a couple of weeks out. But this week you're out to Binghamton, New York.
And into
Canada.
Right? Yeah.
Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
And you got some big shows. And you're going down south, and this tour just keeps rolling.
We'll be down in Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana.
Yeah.
Back up to Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Back on November 4th at Renfro Valley.
Great place. Yeah.
You want to go ahead?
No, you go.
Well, at Renfro, we're going to be filming that concert as part of a documentary that's being done on Exile.
Nice.
KET, Kentucky Educational Television, is doing the thing.
Awesome.
And so we're taping that concert, or filming that concert. So anybody that wants to attend, I'm not sure if there are tickets left. There may be a few.
Very, very
check
few.
it out.
Yeah.
But it's November 4th in Renfro Valley, Kentucky. If they want, anybody wants to be a part of the whole documentary process, come on.
Well, you're fans. We should do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here it is.
And hopefully the documentary will be out probably spring of next year.
Yeah.
Of course, it'll take a while to get everything edited together, and a
pretty
lot
cool.
of interviews and
Oh, yeah.
all videos and pictures and stuff. So we're very excited about that.
That's awesome. You got to go big. 60th anniversary. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
It is a big deal.
deal.
It is a big
Absolutely,
deal.
man. Congratulations on that.
Oh,
Surely
thank you.
something, man.
Thank you.
Really something. So,
Unbelievable.
well, I appreciate it. We just did the timing right in between big shows. You've been touring all over this year, haven't you?
We have.
Yeah.
And you stayed very busy.
We have been busy. I mean, thankfully, knock on wood. I just did it.
It is wood.
It is. It's old Duncan Fife. It's every bit a part of the show.
Yeah.
The dining room table.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, absolutely.
Oh.
That's why we like to have you play live music around the dining room table here at the podcast. So I know you got another one in that guitar. I bet you do.
I do, and
Just happen to know this song that you wrote.
well, I kind of don't say I know it. That's the jinx here. I wrote this. It was on one of our albums on Arista Records. I wrote it with Stephen Sharp's brother, Randy Sharp.
Randy Sharp, loved
Brilliant,
him.
brilliant.
What
man.
a writer.
Oh, my
also had a
gosh.
big Restless Heart song.
Oh, yeah. He wrote Why Does It Have to Be Wrong to Be Right?
Yeah.
Tender Lie.
A Tender Lie.
Oh, it's one of my fave songs of all time.
Solo right and all the publishing. Oh,
Yeah.
He made out big.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But he and I wrote this, and it was one of our singles. And I think it got to number 2. It was held from being number 1 at the time. I can't remember. Maybe it was a Garth song or somebody. Garth who?
Yeah. I heard him somewhere.
But anyway, this is called Nobody's Talking.
All right.
Here we go. Just got home late last night. This old town was a welcome sight. I couldn't wait to see you again. Oh, how long it's been. When I opened the door, looking all around, you were nowhere to be found. I called all friends just to see if they might know where you might be. Nobody's talking straight. I ask about you and they hesitate. But sooner or later, I'm gonna find out whatever it is nobody's talking about. Started looking looking for you. I just didn't know what else to do. Every place I went, it was always the same. I just say your name, and they turned away like they did not hear. What they're not saying is all too clear. In their eyes I see the sympathy. I know there's something they're not telling me. Nobody's talking straight. I ask about you and they hesitate. But sooner or later I'm gonna find out whatever it is. Nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking.
That's what I love. Live music around the dining room table on the Songwriter Connection podcast. Sonny LeMaire and Marlon Hargis are our guests here. The new Exile album is called "It's a Million Miles Later," and there's 16 songs. This would have been back in the day the double album set, right?
Yeah.
I love it. Every song is fantastic. It's truly Exile, and all originals except the
16th track on this project,
which I love.
Man,
it's 16 tons.
Do we have time to talk about that?
I want to. That's why I saved it, because I wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
That years, in 2019, we released for the very first time another project called the Garage Tapes.
Oh yeah.
And it is a double CD containing 30 tunes.
Wow.
And it's a compilation of songs that we wrote. We would go into the studio in Lexington that we've talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. And record songs that we had just written, brand new songs, and they were demonstration recordings, demos. Then, later on, as we were preparing for the album, we'd go out to LA in those days, and later to Nashville, and put those songs on our albums. So these are kind of the raw, more raw versions of those original songs. Mm-hmm. And as we were putting the project together, finding the old tapes, the reel-to-reel tapes, we found a cassette. And it said rehearsal. So we checked it out, and it was literally a rehearsal in which we had worked up this song, 16 Tons, made famous originally by Tennessee Ernie Ford. Took the time to work it up, and it was recorded, that rehearsal, on a boombox.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So that track, that boombox recording, is on that compilation. And it's really cool, honestly. So we said, then, if we had the opportunity to ever do a proper recording, because we loved the way it turned out, that we would record it. So this project, A Million Miles Later, we decided to record it properly. And it's the same, 16 tracks.
16, yeah.
And
16,
it's really, we do it live.
Tracks.
We do it live now all the time. And it's
great reaction.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Very cool. Hey, let's play a little bit of it.
Do it.
Let's do it. Because it really is cool. Oh, that's not it. Is it?
That's it.
That's it? Oh,
yeah.
There we go. That is.
To the company store.
It's the harmonies.
That's cool.
It's awesome. Your bass. Oh, yeah. Listen to that. Think another single there?
It's possible.
Oh, that's cool.
Then Marlon comes in.
Beautiful.
Fun. It's a fun song to play.
I'll bet.
Some people say a man is made out of mud.
JP.
Poor man's made out of muscle and blood. Muscle and blood, skin and bones. A mind that's weak, but a back that's strong. You load 16 tons. What do you get? Another day older and deeper in debt. St. Peter, don't you call me, 'cause I can't go. I owe my soul to the company store.
Marlon, you had that deep.
Oh yeah,
That's you on the deep voice, isn't it?
It's I do the bass part. On
You're
it.
the bass singer. It is very good. This whole album is just awesome, and I want to encourage people to
Thank
listen to it. Buy the CD if you can. Where do they catch you? Online? You've got your own website too?
We do. Exile.biz, B-I-Z.
.biz. Yep, merch there and everything.
Well, yeah, it's
yeah.
all on there, as
All
well
there.
as Facebook, which is Exile Band Official.
Okay.
Instagram is Exile Official Band. TikTok,
You got to be on TikTok.
Exile Band Official. All those places. You can see all the information about the band touring as well as merchandise. Check all those things out, folks.
So before I let you guys go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were at the Opry recently, the Grand Ole Opry.
We were last
week.
Last week we were.
Okay. And something cool happened there. Something really cool happened, right?
It sure did.
Yeah. To back up a little bit, earlier this year we did a cruise. It was called the Rock and Romance Cruise. A bunch of what would you call
Legacy artists.
legacy artists.
Okay.
And we were sharing a stage with a great band called the Climax Blues Band.
Always love those.
British
From
band.
Manchester, England. Yes.
Yeah.
Always
yeah.
love those guys. Yeah.
At any rate, we got to be friends because we were waiting to go on stage and so forth, and we loved each other's groups. So anyway, a few weeks ago, they actually got in touch with I think JP and said we have a new single coming out in England and we'd love you guys to sing on it. You know, and so. They through the new technology, they sent stuff over and the guys sing on it, sing it back, and so we will be collaborating on a single with them in England sometime pretty soon. We don't really have an actual date yet.
That's great.
So at the Opry last week, they wanted some video footage of some local scenery in Nashville and talking about singing on their project. So we recorded ourselves, at the Opry, going in the Opry entrance and standing on the stage and talking about, their song, which is called Facing My Fear, by the way. And they were just blown away with the footage. So they're going to use that for some kind of promotional stuff over at in the UK. So we got that going on.
Wow.
That would be part of a single over there.
That's cool.
It was very cool,
Climax Blues Band. Yeah.
And then, lo and behold, also on this project, we have written a gospel song called Down in Cold Water. And we asked our good friends, the Isaacs, who are an amazing vocal group, amazing, if they would join us and sing on it. And they have graciously done that.
Awesome.
And that's on this project too. That will be released at some point to the Christian market.
Wow.
So we got a thing in the UK, a pop song. We've got our country stuff, quote country, rough around the edges happening. Going to have this Christian market thing. So, hey, Exile's back.
That's right. Got the documentary going, all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love it, guys. That's fantastic. And all genres. So we talked about just genres.
Hey.
Leave that up to the marketing people and the record companies.
Exactly.
You do you. That's what we say. You do you. And you guys
We just
do
write
you.
them and sing them. You can
That's
put them
it.
where you want.
Exactly right.
Check all those things out,
All
folks.
right. Yeah,
Please do.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you coming on the show.
It's
Thank
our
you.
pleasure.
Your
It's been fun.
invitation.
It's
Yes.
been fun.
Good to talk to you, too. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Songwriter Connection podcast. Find us on social media at Songwriter Connection. Also, listen to Dave Lanahan's Nashville Connections radio show. It streams live every Friday morning on WOBL and WNOI. Look for us on Facebook and YouTube. See you next time on Songwriter Connection.